Ayo, like, subscribe. Let's go.
First of all, what? Yes, I have an accent because I ain't from here. I was born in Thailand, and I grew up in Georgia for a decade. And then I moved to Nebraska. Ain't she over there, by the way? How the hell y'all gonna tell me how I'm supposed to sound like? You want me to speak in broken English, bitch? The fuck? Or would you like for me to speak formally to you, sir? Fuck out of here, man.
Only took 10 years, huh?
Oh, f you. Go away. Go find your women wherever you want. If you're not satisfied, I don't know what to tell you. If you want a woman who barely even speaks English and just has to suck your dick, go for it.
A lot of the men I know that go overseas to find wives are not great dudes.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, they're pervy.
Just calling them pervy for wanting to go and find a traditional wife. They'll shame you as a man for going and seeking alternative options because these women are just not meeting the standards.
Keep barking, bitch. You come to traveling in Thailand and you talk shit about Thai women like that? And think about it, you're 38 and you're still single. Because no man wants you, even though men in your country doesn't want you. You're just jealous because you cannot compete with us and look like you just need some attention. You're just jealous, bitch.
Ouch.
Women getting upset about these foreign women talking about, I got your man. Girl, those girls, as soon as they get that visa, they're going to be gone in 24 weeks, if not 3 months. Because guess what? They're going to realize that those guys were discarded and unwanted for a reason. Let these girls get their bag and embarrass themselves because they know, trust me, they know they're contributing to the prejudice and the racism of black women. They know. But they'll see. Because once people find out that it was them talking all that shit and they're over here and then they're over here on the struggle bus trying to figure out how to get it together, we're not going to be there for them. Let them do the struggle thing. And listen, these chicks are smarter than what you think. They probably, as soon as they get that visa, they're going to get with some Brad or some dude that is their race, their culture. They're going to get with that guy. They're going to forget all about Tyrillion and Latravius. Trust me.
Who is Tyrillion, ma'am? And second of all, it's not about your race, it's your attitude.
Trust me when I tell you, for us women, if all the god-awful men decide they all want to get a passport and take themselves to other countries, that would be music to our ears. Because for such a long time, the god-awful men have been in the forefront for so long that we couldn't see over you and see that there were actually some very good men and they have voices. But we couldn't hear their voices because y'all were in the forefront making so much noise.
Wasn't the too nice? Too boring? You like bad boys? It's the for me. Didn't you pass up on all those good people? You went with the horrible guy, got pregnant by him twice? What these women do not understand is the passport bros are not going over to different countries to bring those women back to America. They're out there, they're really good people that have not been able to find the type of wives that they want in America and are choosing to go elsewhere. And why do they think we make these videos for them? For them to see. We don't make these videos for you guys to see. I mean, my TikTok right now is only seen by 3% women. I don't give a if you see it. It's for the men. So let them be. They ain't looking for you.
I've been seeing like a lot of videos like these of women saying that we need to treat American men better and stuff like that, and American women are so ungrateful and that all men want is just like a submissive wife and stuff. But the average man in America makes less than $60,000 a year. So who the fuck is that supporting? Because if you want a stay-at-home wife, and you would also want the nuclear lifestyle, meaning you also want 2 kids. So who the fuck is less than $60,000 supporting in reality? Like, that's ridiculous. You're not going to be able to support a family on $60,000. You're just not. Especially you want the nuclear family, because look at the prices of groceries. Eggs have gone up, meat has gone up, everything has gone up, and EBT isn't helping nobody out, especially, and they're taking more restrictions away. So in reality, are you living a nice, comfortable life if your husband is struggling to put food on the table and struggling to put his children in college, or struggling because every month of his paycheck he has to put a portion away so he can pay for his kids' tuition once they get older, hopefully? I can guarantee you that a lot of women would be stay-at-home wives if men make more money. But the fact is that they don't. And a lot of people always act like women are just like standing up saying, oh, we don't want to be stay-at-home wives. A lot of girls do. But that's just not a viable option for them when the average, I'm saying average, man makes less than $60,000. Nobody's walking around turning away men who make over 6 figures. I can guarantee you that.
Ma'am, you're complaining about average men when you're a below average woman. See, social media has these modern women's heads messed up, thinking that they can get a top 10% man. You get what you qualify for.
I don't know where y'all are getting this like fantasy that women, millionaires, or people who are making like $500,000 a year are walking up to women and women are like, nope, I'm Miss Independent, I don't like you. A lot of women would fall for that. But the reality is, a lot of people don't make that kind of money. And I hear people say, oh, what happened in the 1950s? What happened to when women used to respect their husbands and stuff like that? Women had no choice. It was so difficult to get a divorce back then. And a woman cannot just leave and go get a job or go get her own bank account or go buy a house and stuff like that. Because first of all, sexism in the workplace was way bigger than it is today. And second of all, it was very shunned upon for a woman to even get a divorce. And it was very normalized for a woman to get beaten by her husband. So would you rather go back there and get beaten and essayed by your husband all the time? Because if y'all want to do that, that's fine with me. But what y'all not going to do is shame women who don't want to go down that path. And another thing that these pick-me foreign girls need to stop doing is pretending like their country isn't suffering from a low birth rate or suffering from low marriage rates because nobody can afford to have a family or get married anymore, and that it's too expensive to even live anywhere in general. I don't know why they make it seem like it's just an American problem when almost every country is literally dealing with the same problem.
My take on passport bros as an American who's lived in the Philippines for 2 years is that most Filipino women who are dating foreigners, they know English very well. They're smart. They're not uneducated. They definitely know what's going to happen and what's going on, and they know the expectations of what a possible marriage might entail. The part where I get a little worried is I've seen a lot of passport bros be, first of all, predators as young as 13 years old. And second of all, they seem very, very hurt and just like really jaded towards American women and kind of controlling and just really aggressive. So that would be something to consider as well if you want that type of personality as a partner. And also, when people move to the US, you know, they have a foreign spouse. Sometimes, not always, sometimes that foreign spouse is isolated, doesn't have very good connections. So if anything were to be bad or if they would need any help, I'm just worried that some people might not have the resources to get the appropriate help or support or community they need. But I don't care who you guys marry, if it's a foreigner or not. Obviously, I'm married to a foreigner myself. But I think there are just some parts to be cautious about. And then also just remember, a lot of American women have had really bad experiences with men. So when they see like that kind of rough personality going to another country and having women there, they might just be a little upset or triggered because they don't want women to experience things that they have also experienced. So that's my take.
I've not seen any women crying over passport bros.
Not exactly crying, but there are definitely a lot of videos out there of women making videos about men who are seemingly rather confused why men wouldn't want to date women in their own countries.
However, I have seen a lot of women laughing at passport bros, because we can replace men like you with cats and dogs.
That is really great news, because that means there's soon to be a great reduction in the homeless pet population.
But y'all have to literally go to another country because no other woman in your own country wants you anymore.
No, that is not why some men are choosing to go to other countries in hopes of finding their life partner. It's because many aspects of modern society, to include some aspects of modern feminism, has turned the dating pool for men into a veritable cesspool of toxic behavior.
That's what we call a whole cope, honey.
Actually, that's what we call men making the best decisions for themselves, their futures, and their mental health.
Have you seen a lot of these passport bros video going around where American women are getting kind of...
As you should, sis. We have failed these men. And for some reason, they feel like they have to not only go outside of the United States, but they don't want an African woman, a Haitian woman. They go straight to the Asian countries. Because you guys know how to treat these men far better than we do. We have failed by demanding the bare minimum, respect, protection, things along those lines. Commitment, fidelity. We have really messed up by expecting men to be able to rise to that standard. And that's on us. And, they love to tell us that we're going to be lonely, we're going to be cat ladies when we get older, but that is a burden that we have to bear for our mistake. We loved them whenever they didn't love us, they ran all over us, they blamed us, and then here we are. And not all women have been in the right. There are some of us who have also hurt men, but for the majority of us, we just missed the mark. We fell short. We don't know how to be submissive and quiet like you. Please teach us, because we're obviously doing something wrong, and these men are running from us.
Going back to the videos that I saw on TikTok of women being upset about this whole movement of passport bros, is that they're kind of saying like these women over there don't know better and they're being taken advantage of. But kind of like those things that you just said, the benefits to the women are very similar to, other than the third, very similar to the benefits that women have here when they're looking for a high value man, right? They're looking for a man that can support a family. And that, of course, includes finances. And then somebody that they're attracted to.
Exactly.
So, just the fact that you're talking about reason 2 for Filipino women is that they actually find these Western men to be attractive. There is, something very genuine there.
Yes.
And that's what you can build that chemistry and then relationship off of. They're not liking it because, like, why do men need to go?
What I find really interesting in a lot of these videos is like these people are so fucking close to the point that they are like tripping. They are like on the line. They're like they're like falling over the point. And then they completely swerve at the last minute and miss the point fucking completely. This woman is talking about how women react when they hear about passport bros, men going to other countries, usually poorer countries, economically disadvantaged countries, and finding wives, finding women to date, finding women, usually younger women, to essentially take advantage of. And she is supposing that women are feeling triggered because of their loss. Like the loss of a man that could potentially be their husband. When any educated, together, smart woman hears about a man who is a passport bro going to a different country, to a disadvantaged, typically, country, where the women are in need of something because they cannot provide for their families, they cannot provide for themselves, they are in an economically disadvantaged position. When a man goes to a country like that to find a wife specifically, right? It's not because he has met a woman from there that he loves. He is going to put himself in a position of power so that he can get what he wants and needs without needing to provide anything other than the passport and or the financial assistance that these people are in need of. I promise you the women that are reacting to that are not mourning the loss of that man, because that man has shown himself to be somebody that needs to put himself in a position of power in order to extract the things he needs from another person. He's not showing up in his value. He's not showing up in his worth. He's not showing up as a man that understands that other people want things too. He's not a loss, is what I'm saying. He is a man that is going to go exploit a different woman. The trigger isn't the loss, it's the exploitation. I find it very interesting to watch women like this be a talking head saying that, oh, women are triggered because of the loss of these men. Babe, we didn't lose him. We're happy he's gone. But we don't like the fact that he has gone to take advantage of another woman in a more difficult, in a more precarious situation. And that is the trigger, not the loss.
So this is a comment that a lot of guys put under this video, and I just want to let you know that the passport bros mentality is just as toxic as this lady's mindset. The reason why I say it's toxic is because you have to understand that there are women everywhere around the world that think the same way. Just because you go out the country does not guarantee that you're going to find a submissive, I guess that's what y'all looking for, a submissive woman, when in fact, if you watch a 90 Day Fiance, a lot of those relationships were people that went out the country to find love and it didn't work. And also you will have to be their support financially for 10 years. Did you know that? So there's still good people in the U.S. just as well as there are good people outside the U.S. We just have to exercise wisdom. And at the end of the day, we have to be careful who we choose. It's all about your choosing. It's not have anything to do with the American woman. It has to do with the type of woman that you choose. Just like us women got to be careful what type of man that we choose. So this is not about pointing fingers and who's better and who's not better, because again, there's a lot of great women like myself that's located in the U.S. And so a lot of people decide they don't want to date people from the U.S. for various reasons. That's fine, but don't just assume that the passport bros are getting the better deal, because they're not. So I just wanted to dispel these lies once and for all. I've been deleting these comments because they have no accuracy to them, and I would like to see some of, again, we have a lot of great people here in the U.S. that's been married for a very long time, that's married to American women. Well, we're not going to downplay or downgrade or talk bad about American women. That's not going to be on my page. So I hope you understand and that you find the love of your life. But make sure that you're the person that person is looking for. Okay? God bless.
I've been seeing a lot of this passport bros video going around where American women are getting.
So can we black women just agree to completely divest from this passport bros conversation? Like, can we just agree to let these dusty men go have the women that they want? Just let them go have them. Let them have each other. I was kind of observing the whole situation, and I found it very entertaining for a few weeks, but I've noticed that like a lot of women are really upset about this, and it just doesn't really affect us. Let's just keep our peace. Let them go be with who they want to be with. Let them have them. Let them be someone else's problem, not ours.
I also want to talk about why this mindset that so many Western women have is actually extremely problematic. Because not only are you putting down the men who are going overseas with pure intentions, you're also putting down the women from these other countries solely off of the fact that they were not brought up in a Western culture. Because you're calling them uneducated, you're calling them poor, you're calling them weak, you're calling them vulnerable. You're creating a superiority complex where you are at the top and women from all these other countries are at the bottom. Now let me tell you something. If you were really superior, the men would not be leaving, and you would not be single.
So men are saying they're getting their passport
because in America, women hate all men.
They say that they're tired trying to find a woman in the United States where women say, I don't need a man, go away.
The whole independent woman thing is really a U.S. thing. And then the women are mad. The same women who hate men and are feminists are mad that the men went to where they're respected.
And instead of looking in the mirror and asking ourselves if we would make great wives, we would much rather shame them.
They are not going over there to grape and conquer.
Ma'am, if you're not fit, feminine, or friendly, then you're not what these men want.
The women in other countries, such as DR and Thailand, it's just culturally the norm for a woman to be cooking, for a woman to take care of her man, all that stuff.
I mean, I'm an American woman. I do my best, but I can't say, as a collective, foreign women are winning. Sorry, they're winning.
So the passport bros is gaining more and more popularity, and honestly the ladies are not happy about it. And one of the reasons I think it's getting so much pushback from women is because what this is going to mean is that ladies are not going to just have more competition. They're going to have more competition when it comes to dating and mating. There's going to be more options available for men, and I think for many ladies that just makes them feel a little bit uneasy, if I'm just being honest. First of all, the idea of dating and mating being competitive in general is not anything that we grew up hearing. A lot of women grew up hearing they're the prize, they just have to be, and the man will just magically show up, that, just their presence isn't up. Like we heard these things, and so the idea of competing or the idea of, making yourself available or different, things that you would do to make yourself desirable to another partner is very foreign, especially for Black women. And so now fast forward and you have this whole group of men that are saying, hey, you aren't willing to work with us. Fine, we're going to go abroad and find women who are. It's like a mixture of shock and disdain and disgust, and how dare you do this? Like, you're going to make us have to compete? How dare you? So the thing is, I don't think it's going anywhere. I legitimately do not think that this movement is going anywhere. If anything, I think it's going to grow. And this is just the way of the economy of the world. So many things are globalized. Jobs being one of them, different career opportunities, and of course, relationships is going to be one of them. So I just think it's making a lot of women uneasy. And the good news is, if you are a good woman, whether you in the USA or you are in, Europe or you are in Asia, Africa, if you're a good woman, there's going to be no shortage of men who really want to, be with you, especially in a society now where it's like there's a lot of women who just don't even want to have families. If you're a woman who doesn't want to have a family and does have the character and the qualities to do so, like, you're not going to have any problems. But the reality is, what worked 50, 60, maybe even 10 years ago when it came to finding somebody, it's not going to work today. Things are just strictly different. Things just are not the same. And I think instead of trying to shame dudes or trying to find ways to detour them from doing what they have already decided they're going to do, it might be more productive to just try to understand what's going on. At least listen. Even if you don't like the Passport Bros, at least try to listen to their complaints, hear where they're coming from, and then from there you might be able to figure out, okay, how to navigate in this space. My thoughts.
Because they also don't want women walking around here hyper masculine all the time, but you're not giving us a space for a soft life.
That's not our job, to give you space for a soft life. You need to come soft already. You don't want us to come soft. You want us to be masculine at all times, right? Well, then you need to be feminine regardless of what you've gone through or going through. Strange.
But then complains about the marriage expectations of traditional foreign women.
You're afraid to court me or take me out on a $300 date, then just leave me alone. Because I can honestly take myself out on a $300 date.
Then why can't you take the man out on a $300 date? Just because you want to go on a $300 date don't mean that you have to. That's not the best first impression. What if that date doesn't go well? Then this man just blew $300 for no good reason. Because the mindset of these women that will accept those high-end dates, those expensive dates from a man, those might be women that you go on a date with and you have a miserable time. I'm going to be upset. I don't care if I got $30 million in the bank. If I just spent $300 on this chicken head chick, I'm gonna be upset. With that $300, I could have started a small business. Ladies, please be capable of putting the shoe on your foot before you say this ridiculous stuff.
No, I do not like the Passport Bros, because them Passport Bros be leaving America and they be saying American women's standards high, but when you go to these foreign countries, you have to get the blessings of the father. You got to show your bank statements. You got to have enough money to provide for this wife. You're not just getting this. You're not just getting this woman just.
But they doing it because they don't want to mess with us black women.
And that's fine.
I mean, they can go. They can go.
That's fine.
I only talk to people who are interested in talking to me.
So that's where I come in is that it's. I know, I never liked them, but.
Excuse me. Who are the Passport Bros? So Passport Bros are the men that leave America, talk about how American women are so masculine and this and that, and they go travel to foreign countries thinking that they gonna bag those traditional women.
No, Passport Bros go over to another country to find somebody that's non-black. They go mess with somebody else because they don't like us.
But they don't be having a
Let's just be real here.
I'm going to agree with Tatiana on this because they're going to another country to try to get this maybe traditional woman. And they're going to be shocked because in some cultures, they're going to require a lot more compared to us in the States. That's my thoughts on it.
Like my parents, before I bring a guy home to even possibly marry, this guy needs to have money. He needs to be able to provide. He needs to get the blessings of my father to even marry me. He has to pass my mom and dad's standards. So even if I think he passed my standards, he still has to speak to my father and get the blessing that, you can marry her. And he has to come with something to.
The host is phony, acting like she don't know who the Passport Bros are.
She don't know the ideology and what it's about. That's why I kept putting the book on the screen that I wrote, because I was the first one to push it. And shout out to King Sigma for coming out with it. But it's crazy. And then the girl that's talking about it sounds so young and immature. Oh, she sounds so young. Just sound like, don't even know, can't even explain it right. Trying to twist everything up. That's why we have the book out there. Go get it, fellas. We don't want them to twist what it is about, what it's going to be about, what it has been about. And another thing, that lady sounded so drunk, sounded old, cutting everybody off, and now you got alcoholics, women so lonely that they gotta go to the bottle.
Leave a comment in the description, like, subscribe, share. Peace.